since they're playing.
Game strong, let's break the mold. Chasing the stories yet untold. Passion ignites like a blazing fire. Knowledge takes us higher, higher. Out of the box where the wild ones play. We see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. The field's alive with endless dreams. We're more than stats, we're the in-between. A slam dunk thought.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to an action-packed episode of the Sully Squad, Philly Sports. Now, ain't many times of the year where all four of these Johns rolling. You know, we got Sixers got their ass beat last night. I mean, what a fucking letdown that was. Like, you know, you get all hyped. You're like, oh, shit, the big guy's coming back. You know, Sixers won game 2 since we were on this John last week. Played close in game 3. And last night was a total shit show. So we'll touch on some Sixers. The Phillies are a fucking mess. I mean, they won one game since we did this show the last. That was Saturday. I guess if there's anything encouraging, at least Zach Wheeler looked halfway decent, so they did get one win. But then,
whatever.
Aaron Nola was back serving meatballs yesterday. I'll tell you, we should play a game. Actually, you know what? We'll put it out to the audience. Which contract is the worst fucking one for the Phillies? I mean, what a fucking disgrace, So we'll touch on some Phillies. My opinion, we'll get a lot of NFL draft talk. I think Howie Roseman once again knocked it out of the park. Love what he did. So we'll get a little, Eagles draft talk. And they made a trade for, what's his name? Greenward? Yeah, well, whoever he is, he could get to the quarterback, and he did get paid. So anyway, we'll get a little bit of Eagles. And, of course, I think probably the biggest story, and we'll definitely lead out the show on this, John, Flyers up 3-1 against Pittsburgh with a chance to close those pussies out tonight. So I'm rocking the playoff white Briere since they're on the road. The GM, current GM, former player, was money time in the playoffs. So let's hope it brings us luck. So, but anyway, got a lot to get into. We got usual cast here. I got my man Jeff right next to me, all flyered up. What's up, Jeff? How you doing?
Doing good. If you look at the picture there, see that part that looks like my head's chopped out? That's the Sixers part.
Pretty much, Jeff. Pretty much. And then right below Jeff, I got my man Sean Kilrain. What's up, Sean?
What's up, fellas?
And then right next to Sean, I got my man Diego. What's up, Diego?
What's good, man? Jeff, the bald head fits perfectly as the ball.
Yeah, well, hey, you know what? So perfect segue. Let's talk about something that doesn't fit perfectly. And unfortunately, that's the Philadelphia 76ers. Got all hype yesterday. Joel Embiid's coming back. I'm like, all right, we're down 2-1. Can we find a way to tie this up 2-2? To his credit, listen, we've ripped Embiid on this show many times for not playing, but I'm not going to rip Embiid for last night. I give him credit for breaking his balls and coming back. He showed a lot of heart. In my opinion, the rest of the team didn't show much heart. I mean, we got our balls handed to us. Diego, biggest takeaway from that game, I'll tell you what mine was. We don't even close to have enough depth. We don't have enough depth. We don't have enough good players. And the other thing is, too, the Sixers, you and I have been guilty of this, Diego, in particular. We look on paper and we go, a healthy Embiid, a healthy George, VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey. Can they make a run? I think, not to take too much out of last night, but I think that, games like last night kind of show us that you can't just flip a switch in the NBA and automatically have chemistry. Like you watch that Celtics team, they're deep and they know how to play together, and it's such a difference. I'll start with you. What's your biggest takeaway from last night?
My biggest takeaway is that Embiid played and he played good. The game started, right? It was 10-8. Embiid had all 8 points, right? After that, we had a chance to go up a point. Oubre misses a wide open 3. Then Oubre misses another wide open 3. Then VJ misses another wide open 3. And the score's still 10-8. You know? Once Boston started hitting a couple shots, it was 10-8, 13-8. You know what I mean? They start pushing a lead. Sixers had opportunities early on in that game before it got blown up to be in that game, you know, to beat Boston. But it's a make-miss league. You know, Boston makes their wide open shots and Sixers don't make their wide open shots. I think if you look at the numbers of that's what determines these games. Because if you see the game the Sixers won, they hit all their open shots. Boston couldn't buy a shot. Wide open. You make your wide open shots, you win. That's what Oklahoma City does. That's why Boston won a championship. That's what they do. They play basketball the right way. They make the extra pass, they get the open shot, and the guy who gets the open shot hits it. You know?
Yeah, do you guys think part of the problem is that, like, you know, while Embiid is such a talent, and again, you're right, he comes in, what did he get, 26 last night? But do you see I agree with you, but one of the things, it looked like the whole focus even though Embiid played well at first, the whole focus seemed to be to get him involved early, and it was kind of not faulting him, but it was to the detriment of the rest of the team. Like Maxey took like 3 shots in the first half.
Yeah, I blame that on him though. No, because like I said, Uber had 2 threes. VJ put up shots. Maxey, everyone wants to call him Allen Iverson. Is Allen Iverson passing the ball? Is Allen Iverson have 3 shots in the first half? No.
I'm going to give you a comment.
It doesn't matter what I have to do. I'm going to go to the basket. I'm going to get fouled. I'm going to go to the line. Maxey doesn't do that. You can take him out of the game if you can just switch on another defender every time they set a screen for him that can play defense on him. He's kind of a one-trick pony. It's the step back 3, or he's going to try to rush to the lane. But if he can't beat the defender in front of him, he don't really have much else. Like, he doesn't have that mid-range shot he can just pull up like SGA has. Like, he has to add something else to his bag. That killed the Sixers yesterday.
I'm going to give you 2 comments about the Sixers and then just listen. One, my comment is, as I said for years, they're not going to win a championship with Embiid, period. And that's showing. It's just not going to work. 2, how many points did our bench have?
Yeah, how many did Boston's have?
But how many did ours have?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's no depth.
0.
We were in that game. We were
0.
in that game.
Almost as many games as the Phillies won this month.
We were in the game, and B went to the bench, and fucking Drummond came in, and they went on an 8-0 run.
Yeah, Sean, what's your biggest takeaway?
Rebounded.
Yeah, well, that was mine. I mean, that was mine too. Like last night, you know, Boston's going to have games like, if you think about it, Boston is going to have games like last night. Game 1 and Game 4 were the 2 games where Boston shot the lights out. Game 2, we played well, beat them up there. Game 3 was the toss-up game, and the reason that we lost was because we got killed on the boards. And like you said, Sean, we need rebounding.
Yeah, 100%.
And Pritchard put a clinic on.
And B gave you 10 of those yesterday too. He had 29 points, 10 boards, and like 6 assists. Mm-hmm. If you can't hit your shots around that, you're not going to win. I don't think it's an Embiid problem.
It's not.
I'm watching guys around him miss wide open shots. Nick Nurse sucks at coaching too. You know, let's be real. Does Boston have the athleticism that the Sixers have? They're not that athletic. They got Pritchard out there. They got the other dude Hauser out there. They got Garza who can barely move out there. They get boards because they play hard.
I agree with Eddie's comment.
The Sixers don't play hard.
Win with Embiid.
They don't play hard. Oubre standing at the 3-point line, putting up a 3, Brook, and follow your shot.
Well, just like we said earlier in the season, the pace with Edgecombe and Maxey before his finger injury, like Joey said, they were a run and gun basically, fast pace, get it down the court. You had to keep up with them. Now you look at it, it's kind of
Slow down.
Embiid's good, but he kind of slows, like Eddie said, and I think we all can agree, slows the kind of pace down. But he's that big body,
Yeah,
know
but
what I
even
mean?
without it, even without Embiid, we were down 2-1, and Boston. When you're a good team and you got guys like Tatum and Jaylen Brown and good point guards, you slow the game down in the playoffs. You run sets. The game is a half-court game. You're not going to run and gun. You're not going to score 130 points in the playoffs. They won. The Boston beat us 108 to 100.
I'm a Sixers fan, but we're just in Philadelphia. We're all just kidding ourselves. They weren't going to go any further than Boston. I don't care. They just weren't.
They're not.
Talented
They're
enough.
not. They don't have enough shooters.
No.
No, they
Pritchard
don't.
is a
No.
shooter. Hauser's a shooter. Derek White's a shooter. And then you put a guy like Brown and Tatum with them, they're going to be open all the time. And they make their
pass that
shots.
ball.
Maxey nobody was hitting their open shots yesterday.
It's time to shuffle this team up, unfortunately. And Morey needs to go. Nurse needs to go. It's done.
Oubre's got it. Oubre's got to go. I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can, but Oubre's got to go. He has to be that number 3 that can play defense, which he does. That goes to the basket strong, which he does. But then he has to be able to make an open shot, which he doesn't, and that kills you at the 3.
Yeah, he's too inconsistent. So, all right,
liability.
Is there ever? I mean, all right. Let me ask this question, and then I want to ask one question before we move on from them. Is there any hope?
No.
Is there any?
It's over.
Okay.
It's over.
No,
it's
I
over.
got you.
No.
I agree with you.
We all know.
But can they at least bring it back to Philly? Is there any way that they're not getting closed out tomorrow night?
I think they can.
Okay, but even so, obviously they're not going to win 3 in a row.
Yeah, I just don't think. I just think
living on a prayer.
like even if they won the next 2, I would still put my money on Boston winning in Boston Game 7.
I would too. Okay, now here's the other question, because this is an off-season question. I had 97.5 on this morning, and John Kincaid was talking about. He said somebody mentioned something to him. Now, this isn't a substantiated rumor, so I'll be the first to admit that. But, Bob Myers works for Josh Harris, right? And the rumor is that Steve Kerr is going to step down from Golden State. So John Kincaid was saying that someone was telling him, kind of look out for, how would you feel if maybe Morey got taken out, you bring Bob Myers in, and then possibly maybe Steve Kerr came here and coached our backcourt?
There you go.
I don't know if that's even possible, but
if it is,
it would work.
I'm sold.
Is Maxey Steph Curry?
No.
Not even close.
It doesn't work. I think Steve Kerr is because of Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because he was able just to allow one player to go out there and play so freely, and Steph Curry was able to just make big shot and big shot and big shot and win big games for him. I feel like Steve Kerr's job was a little bit easier. If we don't think Tyrese Maxey is Steph Curry, no.
Yeah, listen, I'm kind of with you, and also, like as you said, Steve Kerr did a great job for a long time. But if you notice, the Warriors really haven't done shit in the last 3-4 years, and that's because those guys have kind of gotten old. I don't know. Even with his resume, I don't know what Steve Kerr could possibly do here with how we're hamstrung with contracts. Eddie Prather says Kerr was hand-given the team Mark Jackson built.
100%. I agree with that.
Can the Sixers now move Embiid with this extension? They couldn't do it in the first year, but can't they do it now? The second year?
Hey, what's up, Mike? How you doing, bro? Thanks for checking us out.
When they signed the extension, they could not move him and trade him. But I didn't know if it continued on in the second season. I thought you can move him, and obviously something that goes against your cap or whatever.
Yeah, but I know, but the problem is, though, even even if you could move him, I mean, Embiid looked really good a lot of the season, but he only played 38 games. I mean, I can't imagine anybody's going to take that on. I mean,
I agree.
The only,
That's what I was going to say.
Saying,
Everyone says trade Embiid. Everyone's like trade Embiid, trade Embiid.
Something. I mean,
what are we getting for
Embiid? Going to
Embiid?
work here.
What's that, Jeff?
It's just not going to work with him here.
Understand that.
Everything we kind of can, it's just not going to work.
And that is probably 1,000% what's going to happen. But you're not going to who's taking on Embiid with all that money and still giving you something that at least gives you a chance to win for the remainder of his contract.
You might be able to find a team out west or something that needs fans, and you get Embiid's name out there. They're not going to take the whole contract. We may have to obviously eat some, but you might have something out there.
Yeah, you can't do that in the NBA, Jeff.
Yeah,
you can't. You have to take.
You need players that can even that contract out. You know what I mean? So that's my point. Who's giving you players that are adequate enough to come here and do
I don't know
give you a better chance to win than Embiid?
I don't know who's out there and all that, so I don't know. It's just not going to work with him here. Unfortunately, I mean, it's almost like an Iverson situation. And Larry Brown came in, and then and Pat Croce, and they worked around and got the players they needed to complement Iverson, and that got him to the championship. They haven't done that with Embiid, but Iverson was always there.
I would not be opposed to trade. I would not be opposed to trading Embiid for the right price. Like if we can get like two guys in here with like similar talents to I would say like Anunoby or something like that. You know, a guy who can hit a three and play defense and run with Maxey and VJ. I'd be cool with it, but I just don't see it.
I love the guy. He's great when he does play when he's healthy, but he's just not. He's not. Plain and simple, he's not.
So I think the only way you could trade Embiid would probably be in 2 years when he's in his last year, and we probably would have to attach a draft pick to that too, because in 2 years he's an expiring contract. Another team may actually want that, and they could give you some shitty contracts. You know what I mean? But on the flip side, if you're the Sixers and you're not really contending anyway, you wouldn't want to take on shitty contracts for more than a year because you're getting ready to get that $60 million in cap.
Right.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
Hang on, I got one more comment. Mike Fuji says, "Who's flyered up?" Mike, we're all flyered, baby. We're gonna get in the Flyers in a little bit. All right, so we're all in agreement. Sixers are done.
Yeah.
All right, so fuck them. Let's move on.
Yeah, fuck those motherfuckers.
I agree with that.
Move on.
I can't put it any other way, right?
It's true. At this point, you can't.
But I will give Embiid credit because listen, I'll be the first one to admit him. I'd be the first one to rip him when he doesn't play. But I mean, the guy gutted it the fuck out last night. I want to give him a little bit of props. You know what I mean?
He had appendectomy surgery 2 weeks ago, dude. Like that can't be that easy to just come back and play.
No.
Yeah. Mike Laura says Embiid's never healthy, waste of talent and time.
Definitely. Definitely.
It definitely did, and
I'll never argue that. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a damn shame. Let's touch on another team that's failing. Philadelphia Phillies.
You really want to touch on those bums? They suck.
Well, just real quick, and then I want to get into the draft because I mean I'd rather talk about a team that's successful, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles, but and the Flyers. But real quick, Phillies with one win, they can't do shit. You know, they win one game Saturday night. You go, all right, hey. Like remember Major League where the guy's like, hey, if you win one more, what's it called? A winning streak.
Remember Major League, the two Chinese guys? They're shitty. Yeah. I like them better.
Yeah, exactly. So they win a game. They win a game Saturday night. Nola pitches yesterday. Immediately gets rocked. Gives up meatballs. It's 6-0. And let's play a game. Number one. When the hell is Rob Thompson going to get fired? And it's a shame. I don't totally blame him. I blame the GM mostly. Let's play a game. what date
Dude,
is Rob Thompson?
How do you blame? We can blame Rob Thompson. We can blame fucking Schwarber's batting like 198. Turner's batting like 230. Bo's batting like 160. Like, how do you blame anybody but the players hitting the fucking baseball? In baseball.
I hear you. And
I know you shake things up and Rob Thompson should be fired. I get all that. But the blame is the players. In baseball, it's on them. They can't hit the ball.
Well, and the general manager. The general manager literally goes last week, we don't have a cleanup hitter. And it's like, well, jerk off. Who the fuck's
That's on you.
Dombrowski is the number one. I'm not going to say the number one reason, because yes, the players need to be accountable for their actions for not hitting. They're professional players.
Yeah, you can't just play suck. Now they're just plain sucking right now. They're not just like mediocre. Like they're just playing like one of the worst teams in the league. That's on. We're talking about all-star players getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars.
They're playing defeated. You got Schwarber
can't be 500.
You got Harper actually just hitting like he usually does. He's not crushing it. He's at least hitting it. But they're boring as shit. I love watching the Phillies, but I can't watch it anymore. They're really boring. Our pitching, even signing Luzardo, are we thinking, oh shit, this was bad? I mean, he's only given up like 2 or 3 runs. We should be scoring more than that. It's like a goalie. Goalies, they say, oh God, he's giving up 2 goals. No, the average is like 2 point something per game. Well, the Phillies just can't score. They can't put anything together. The lineup's like different every other night. Why is Crawford not in center field? Who the hell's this guy Moore? The ball goes right over his head. Crawford would have had it. I mean, Jesus, it's worse than the Bad News Bears. Yeah. It really is. And you got to get rid of Thompson. This has to be a Joe Girardi situation. And then the players, from what I've heard, Don Mattingly gets in your face. They need that. They need somebody in their face now. They don't need, oh, Rob, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll get him next game. Bullshit. Enough of him. Let's see if something else works.
Yeah.
And Long needs to go too. He's supposed to be the greatest batting coach around. Well, guess what? Maybe that's in Little League, but it's not with the Phillies.
Yeah. I get they're a bad team, but like the money that they spent and where their players ranked and where their players ranked in the top whatever last year, like whatever they are, 9 and 18.
They're
not like a bad team. They're just like Jeff said. I just feel like they're defeated.
Yeah, they're in this place.
Like they're like we're just fucking
in the whole league.
They too many years of the same shit, and finally the players just quit.
Yep, you can't keep running the same thing out over and over again, like you say, and expect something else to happen. It's just not going to happen.
So Sean, do you agree with Mike Papernick Jr.? Because I do. I think they are a bad team, and I think they're top heavy. You have the huge ass salaries that they got, and you have a bunch of guys that suck. What do you?
But you have two guys. You have 2 guys on that team that regressed from the good years of this team with the same team.
Yeah,
Bowman Stock killed you.
Yeah.
You look at these players, they were supposed to develop. Boom, you see him hitting the ball early on. We're going on this playoff run, doesn't develop. Stock, same shit. And I honestly feel like if I had to put the most blame.
And Stock's starting to get some errors in the field. He's starting to concern me because he's not playing the field real well yet either.
If I just had 2 players to blame for the detriment of this team, it's the 2 players that didn't develop into the players that they were supposed to develop into.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like you don't even know where to go. You really don't know where to go. We're going to keep saying the same thing. What do you do? It's this. You're not going to be able to trade anybody right now, so it's the same players. You can put them in the lineup any way you want. It doesn't matter. It's still the same guys. They're not going to do anything.
And if you think it's a bad team, then Rob Thompson's firing isn't going to do shit. A bad team's going to continue to be bad.
Bad team's going to be a bad team. Right. Just lighting a fire under their ass, does it help? Who knows? But you could try it because Thompson ain't going to get anywhere else with this.
All right, so let's
and our bullpen isn't that great either. Alvarado, he needs to go. I know we don't have anybody because what's his face is hurt, but Alvarado's done too.
All right, so
no steroids, no pitcher. Funny how that works. You know what I mean? You're on steroids. You can't be fucking stopped. You're caught taking steroids. Like this guy might be done.
right,
And
so-
yes, I'm happy Walker is gone, and I don't even want to hear his name on the team anymore. For the rest of my life, as long as I live, I don't want any player they pick up with the last name Walker.
Mike Papernick Jr. says the lineup is only different from the 4 spot on down. As 1, 2, and 3 hitters, the buffoon won't move. Then the moron Dombrowski says there is no cleanup hitter, which is a fucking lie. I don't think it's a lie though, Mike. I think there isn't a cleanup hitter. I mean, you look at the Phillies lineup; they don't have shit.
Why don't they put the what's his face Schwarber's cleanup?
Yeah,
Harper before him. You can put whoever you want at second and Turner lead off. Put Crawford as a second batter. Crawford's got a good bat.
Yeah, but I mean, I hear you, Jeff, but it's almost like shining a turd. You only have you got 9 spots in the lineup. You got 3-4 dudes that can do anything. The rest of the lineup might as well go up with the fucking glove and the hat on and be like, fuck it, I'm done.
I kind of agree. I kind of agree with Maurice. No dogs on this team. No dogs. No one that's like it doesn't seem like you're talking about accountability. Doesn't seem like anyone holds each other accountable in the team. They're just all overpaid superstars that got put together because Phillies wanted to spend some money. They're not a team.
And then, unfortunately, with JT hurt, look at our catchers, Stubbs and Marchand. Come on,
Yeah,
they're
all right,
both minor leaguers.
All right, so let's look at the next 7 games and predict this here. Sean,
you got to stop talking so much. You give me a headache.
Sean, let's start for you. Let's start with you, okay?
1-7.
We got, yo, you know what? Can I tell you something that's so fucked up? This tells you how bad the Phillies are right now. I'm like, yo, bro, the next 7 games, what's the record? Sean's like 1-7. They're so fucking bad. We have them literally losing an extra game. You know what I mean?
They lose the day
off. Sean's like, I don't give a fuck. They play 6
off
this week. They're losing the first one next week.
Yeah. They lose on their day off.
Yeah, because they got 3 at home against San Francisco, and then they play 4 in Miami. Which, by the way, the Marlins aren't playing that bad. Marlins are better than us.
The Nationals are pretty good too.
I put confidence in the Phillies last week. I said they'd be 4-3. They went 1-6. They're gonna go 1-13 this week.
Yeah, I know. All right, so what do you think, Diego?
Probably. Which not even kidding. They're probably 1-7, 2-6.
If they don't win more than 2, I'm going to put it this way: if they don't split 500 within the next week of these games or 2 weeks of these games, that's when they fire.
We were all in agreement they would fire him after they went 1-6 this road trip.
I thought for sure today was going to be the day they were going to let them go.
Jeff was like, "Fuck out of here! If they lose the first series, fire him."
I thought he would go on today. I thought today was going to be the day.
1-6. He's still here. I don't know. They might just ride it out and be like, "Fuck."
They could that too. It's the problem is we got these contracts. Like I say, you got Harper here, and they want to extend. He wants to extend. You got Turner here. Those contracts are unfortunately going to pull us down. And I like Harper and I like Turner. It's just not working out. It really isn't. And I know why Schwarber's here, but what do you do? I mean,
I guess you don't have a choice but to fire Rob Thompson. Hope Don Mattingly does let a fire under these guys, and they go on like a super hot streak.
So I don't know. All right,
they lost what 11 out of 12. They could easily, if this team got hot like it did in portions of last year and the year before, win 11 out of 12.
I ain't saying it.
I don't see it either, but I'm saying you fire Rob Thompson. You hope that's the last resort because everyone's like, what are we gonna do? Yeah. Well, the last resort is you fire Rob Thompson. You hope a change of manager sparks them the same way with Joe Girardi. This team gets hot for the rest of the year and they go on a run. There's the hope.
All right, I have a hope here. So I think they're fucking. I think they're fucking done, right?
Yeah.
So is it not that you tank in baseball because we don't even know who comes out in the baseball draft, but say it's the trade deadline. Is the future of this franchise better off with trading a Durant? Say Durant gets healthy, trade a Durant at the deadline for some good young prospects. Pray that even though we love Zach Wheeler, pray that Zach Wheeler he might have a no trade clause, but maybe you could talk him out of it. Pray that Zach Wheeler shows something. Maybe you get some top prospects for Zach Wheeler around the trade deadline.
He's
right?
not going anywhere. He wants.
Yeah, all right, but here's the thing: you get a top prospect. You get a top prospect at first base, Joe. When does he play?
No, I know. Wait, hold up. I'm saying you start replenishing the farm system and you get off of some salary is what I'm saying, right? You get off of some salary. You know, Castellanos' salary comes off the books at the end of this year. You know, you still have Luzardo, who you hope can turn it around. Sanchez in the starting rotation. You hope Painter can develop, and then in the offseason, you added some of these young guys. Maybe you get a young outfielder in a trade. You know what I mean? You call up since you're out of it. When Aiden Miller gets healthy, you call up an Aiden.
That's a problem right there. They're worried about it. They're really concerned about him. I didn't know he had that many injuries going back into high school. They're really concerned about his back. So if he doesn't get any better soon, I mean, a back, you know what a back does. That's horrible right there. But here's my problem with going back into the beginning of the season before it even started. There was, and it's now a proven fact, not just a rumor, that Harper said he would move to right field and they get Alonso in here at first base. There's your cleanup hitter, and you don't get Garcia in here, and you have Harper in right field.
Wait, didn't Alonso just go to a team?
Pull the freaking trigger on something like that. That would have been easy.
Oh, whatever. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. That was an option that was out there. They could have pulled that trigger. And then they obviously got screwed by Bichette. Bichette ain't doing shit with the Mets. At this point, I'm like laughing my ass off.
Yeah,
He's pulling a Lindor.
Yeah, Maurice Wright agrees with my take on the Phillies. Spot on, do it. I mean, I'm only saying.
Yeah, I would move it. I would trade everybody at this point. Who cares? Try to get rid of Harper if you can.
Yankees would take him.
And here's another. And listen, Marsh is playing well too.
Yeah.
He could only hit righties. Maybe you can move him at the deadline. And to Mike Papernick's point, bring up a Nori or a Rico.
Did you hear that bullshit that Thompson said? The reason we're not hitting left-handers enough or hitting left-handers well for average is because we haven't faced many left-handers. What the hell do you do in practice?
Yeah,
that was the dumbest quote you could say. I mean, to come out on live TV with reporters and saying, well, what is the problem? It doesn't seem like your players are hitting.
This is Canadian attitude. He's just a fucking idiot.
Marsh has got the best average against left-handers, and he's a left-hander, yet he wants to sit him all the time. But his answer to that was, we don't face enough left-handers. Yeah, I just don't get it. I think he's over his head now. I think he's fumbled. He's done.
We'll see what happens. I mean, it is late April. Maybe there could be a miracle that they could kind of turn it around. I'm not seeing it. I'm almost in. This franchise can never rebuild because to Mike Papernick's comment right here. We have too much guaranteed money, so you can't rebuild, but you can retool. So maybe you can move a couple of these guys with value, retool. Have Middleton spend some fucking money in the offseason, sprinkle in some young guys, and maybe you can run it. Maybe you can make a run next year or the following year.
It just stinks because when they started off, I just said, okay, it's early in the season, it's cold. They're not a cold hitting team. They are a warm hitting team. I gave them that. Then I gave them, okay, we better start something and get going. You're kind of a little bit upset or whatever like that. Now I'm just fucking angry, just plain off angry, because this is just abysmal. I want to watch the game, but I'd rather watch General Hospital with my wife than watch this now. That's how sad it is.
Yeah, well, hey, speaking of things that people do like watching, this past weekend, the NFL, did you guys see how many people were in Pittsburgh at that draft?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
320,000?
More than that. Yeah, they blew out the record from Detroit 3 years ago.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
All right, so Eagles.
And we fucking just took their pick. First round, he's like, oh yeah, it's in Pittsburgh. Watch this.
Oh, and
Dallas Cowboys was good.
And Pittsburgh's going to get in trouble for this shit too. Yeah. They're being investigated.
All right, so let's get into some draft grades here. First off, I mean, Howie, especially the first 3 rounds. receiver from USC, love that dude. Sean and I were talking about that tight end. Sean, I know you love that tight end from Vanderbilt, Stowers.
Yeah, Stowers. I didn't think they were going to get that.
I mean, Sean was telling me all about him. The tackle from Miami, I like. Yeah, and then the other guy Sean was telling me about that we were kind of researching a little bit. The quarterback, what's his face?
North Dakota State.
Yeah. Kind of like
the lefty.
He said he has a good arm. He doesn't have enough arm strength, but he's smart. He can make most of the passes.
744 yards rushing last year, whatever. They said he's quick. He'll move. He's not one of those just stable guys back there. He makes good decisions.
Nice.
I think we're going to see a revamped offense with Mannion.
They've got enough guys to completely change his offense. We've got 16 wide receivers.
Sean, what do you think about Mekhi Lemon?
Great pick.
I mean, he's that dude. He's Steve Smith to me. I know you said Amon St. Brown. He's Steve Smith.
Yeah, I love Steve Smith.
Have him go across the middle. He's going to go into the danger zone and grab it.
That's huge. That's huge. You don't have to have what's his face.
Said that as well. I mean, he just seems like a goofball, but he can play.
That's it.
I agree.
A little loosey-goosey in the head, but they said the guy can run routes. Unbelievable. He doesn't mind getting smashed over the middle.
Cool.
And he's got good hands.
Can Stowers block?
They said he's not a great blocker, but it's not something that he won't work on. But Calcaterra wasn't a good blocker either, and they got away with that. So if this dude can catch and he's got all this physical ability, hey, Stoutland is still here, by the way. He's going to be working with these players.
I don't think so, nah.
They said he's not going to be obviously in the same position.
He said his heart's not in it. He felt almost like, I guess, could you say blackballed? Like they did him dirty, basically.
Remember how Fangio was on the outside? He really wasn't a coach for us. Supposedly that's what he's going to. I'm just saying what I've heard. I could be completely wrong, but he's not going to be he's just going to, I guess, be there as a reference point or something and help out.
Almost like what is it like?
I guess like an advisor or something. He's not going to be along those lines. That's kind of where he is. He's not completely gone from the team, but that's all I've heard. But again, you don't know.
I'll tell you what, I like the kid. The safety, I was shocked that we didn't get the guy that I wanted, but this dude, I had him in a couple of my mock drafts. Cole Wisniewski, former linebacker.
Is he related to Steve? Is he a Steve descendant, Wisniewski?
I don't know. I can't answer that.
I was going to look it up and see if he's a descendant or anything of him. But
the kid is
he good?
6'3", 220. Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's a good body. To have him back in the center field watching and doing this thing,
Well, who's going to be our safety this year? I mean, I think that's a one thing we didn't address.
I said to Joey, I mean, you got Omar Epps. You got Mike Epps. You got Makuba. Makuba, to me, like I was telling Maurice, he's good, but he's had those injuries that are concerning, nagging.
Yeah.
I mean, but you put him in with the secondary, dude. We got a very good solid secondary, I should say.
We got a great secondary.
And
so the secondary can really help out the safety in a roundabout way because of that good.
Don't forget the undrafted free agents, man.
True, that's true.
They snagged the kid. I think I sent it to you. If not, a tight end from Ole Miss. He's great. He could block, yards after catch, and then two Bama guys, Roberts and Lawson, O lineman and a linebacker. Like they said, they're like diamonds in the rough. Hey, I'm all for it.
I hope this African kid. Whoever this African kid is looks like a fucking freak.
Well, one of the players we got is what's his face? Mitchell, the Phillies pitcher.
I sent that to you. Mitch Williams' son.
Mitch Williams' son, yeah.
We signed or invited him or however you want to say it.
Invited him to camp, yeah.
But
Hey, as
We
long
got a
as he's
kid-
not throwing long and inside fastballs, it's all right.
Yes. But all in all, back to your point with the Nigerian kid, man, he's just got the size. And, Jordan Mulatto's going to mentor him and take him under his wing.
He's
Just
probably a
like
year out though.
Shatlin showed him.
Do you
I
think
think
he
he's going to
plays?
do big things, man. I
He's going to
mean,
play this year? I don't. Do you think he'll play this year?
nah, I mean, he's going to learn
Nah, he's
from
a
all these.
project.
Yeah.
He's going to learn from all these American guys, Carter, Davis, you name it.
Yeah.
I guess the position itself, because he's never played a lick of
Yeah,
football.
no, that's
Just
what he's
his technique, but he's raw. He has that size, and you can't teach size. If you could,
And speed, he's fast too.
sky's the limit.
And he's
You
fast.
got another Jordan Mulatto, but on the other side of the ball.
The big thing I heard that they said is they liked his feet. They said that he's good with his feet, and that was a big key because he is fast, but they like that he can move and shuffle his feet because some of them are just flat-footed and they can't move
or
around.
just like they trip over him, because when you do the
But
shuffle,
he's very nimble with his feet, and that was like surprising because I'm thinking, what's his face? DK Metcalf and him standing next to each other. Remember how DK came out? He's just, and then you have this guy. I'm telling you.
We lucked out. And like Joey said, Howie hit it out the box. And I think we're not done because I don't know if you guys seen it too. Supposedly, if AJ does go to the Patriots, we're getting a future first. If that's true.
28 or 27 or something.
Yeah. And then I heard, I think I sent it to you guys. How about this? Player for a draft pick. You send AJ and a pick to New England, and we get the Caleb Lamo, the Utah O lineman that we wanted, but the Patriots drafted, plus a pick. Almost like I was reading the conspiracy.
I heard that's hard to do because they gave him so much guaranteed money or something like that.
No, people. I mean, I'm not 100% on this, but people keep saying that. But I don't think you could do that in football. It's not like basketball. Like in basketball, they draft the dude and they do it. But I think football is a little different because these teams have cap space allocated for the draft picks. I don't think you can just trade the guy. You know what I mean?
It's not like saying, "Hey, I'm going to trade you so and so, and I want that in second." I got you. Yeah,
I saw the players' names, but you guys are obviously know a ton more than I do about the college players. Did we get anyone that we can work on to be a new center? Because I know what's his face has got a lot of back issues. Do we have any?
No.
Okay.
Remember this name, Willie Lumpkins, the guy that we got from the Rams, and the Rams were pissed that we got him off their practice squad.
Yeah,
he's undersized, but he's built like a fire hydrant. He can snap the ball, so that's kind of your thing. Also, the reason why I think we didn't draft a lot of O linemen is Kendall Williams. Kendall from BC, he plays center. Williams plays both, guard, tackle, and then the kid from Rutgers. I don't know his name.
Well, you have Miles. You had Hinton too. Chris Hinton's son.
Yes, exactly. So, mind you, I think they're content with what we have. For Mannion's offense, and to bring up Joey's point, this kid Markel Bell. Oh, and don't forget the Micah Morris, the kid from Georgia, didn't let up a sack. I mean, we drafted two good O linemen for the future for either Landon and Lane, if need be, if they get hurt or they retire.
Yeah.
So two solid picks.
So is that dude from Miami a good guard or good whatever he was?
Bro,
Is he good?
He's 6'7".
I know, he's a giant.
Diego. I'm sorry, 6'9".
Yeah.
340 something. Yeah, just a big
huge
boy.
See,
he makes his face look small. Who was the big guy we had? He played forever. For Buffalo, we got him. Remember?
Jason Peters.
Yeah, he's like huge, like him. He's just like towers everybody.
The mammoth
size.
Yeah,
is he good?
And then you like you said, you still have Hinton and Williams from last year that they're developing. Hinton's a beast, 6'7", 330.
Okay.
Long
They all
arms.
have-
Bell's 6'9". Now Eddie Prather thinks that Bell is a better fit at guard, but the only thing is I'm not sure. I mean, he could be right, but you don't see many 6'9" guards. Honestly,
Nah.
6'9" to me with long arms is more of a tackle. Like I
To
I
protect the
kinda-
outside,
Becton was big though.
Yeah, you want to get those hands up in the quarterback's face.
But
yeah.
that wasn't Becton's true spot, though, Diego.
It wasn't, but maybe it could be that dude's spot this year.
Oh, whatever the case may be, I mean, we got some big boys. We got a wall, you know? So just be prepared to run at the wall, not through it.
Yeah. Did you see the kid? The guard from Georgia actually is very intriguing,
Yes.
and I think they'll cross train him at both guard spots. But
Yes.
from what I read, though, he plays predominantly left guard, which is very interesting because that's Landon Dickerson's spot. But for all we know, if Landon Dickerson is still really banged up, this could be a play where Dickerson plays this year. If
And that might be it.
I was going to say, if he's still fucked up, this kid could maybe develop and maybe be left guard possibly in a year or two.
They weren't sure he was coming back. They weren't sure he was coming back this year. They thought he might retire early because he's been so banged up and his back is a mess.
Well, also put in the factor, let's keep an eye out on Juergens and Dickerson. Both got stem cell replacement.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's right. They did that right.
That's a plus. But like we said before, guys, this game is wear and tear, man. It just breaks you down, and you just got to treat your body like a temple.
Which Landon Dickerson does it.
You start saying, I watched football for a long time, and I've never seen so many players retire so early now. Before, these players were like barely walking off the field, they retire. Now they're like 26, 27. They're like, all right, had enough.
Hey, Mike Mayock was on the afternoon show with like Ike Reese and them a couple weeks back before the draft. And, he was talking about how doctors are with players. And Mayock said he wanted to draft Dickerson with the Raiders, but his doctors shot it down. So he couldn't draft Dickerson. Now the Eagles doctors gave the green light. And, let's be real. Even if Dickerson were to retire at the end of this year, for a second-round pick, the Eagles got their money's worth. You got 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. So the bottom line is, for a second-round pick, you got 6 years of play with probably, 4 years of elite Pro Bowl level play?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And you got a Super Bowl with them, so that's...
And you got a Super Bowl with them.
Yep.
Right. A Super Bowl with him and 2 appearances.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you made 2 Super Bowls, won a lot of football games. So, and let's be real too, even though he was a guard, had it not been for the injuries, Dickerson probably is a first-round pick.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it just goes to show you, how, there's always in football, there's always different perspectives with injuries. Now, I'll tell you one thing about injuries. If you have an injury out there, this is no different perspective. You call this fucking guy right here, Jason Fine. He's going to get your ass paid. Motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, workers' compensation, or personal injury claims. He's got 3 offices throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey, 1 in Philadelphia, 1 in Cherry Hill, and 1 in that pussy-ass city named Pittsburgh, who we made our bitch multiple times last week. And now, speaking of Pittsburgh...
I have a question, actually, before we get onto the Flyers real quick.
Yeah.
What do you guys think, which makes me laugh, what do you think of the Ty Simpson pickup by the Rams?
Beautiful. A reach of a pick. My buddy's a Rams fan and work short and sweet. Didn't get it one bit when they needed other areas of need. So that's
I think it's a good pick.
Yeah,
I think they know. I think they know that they're going to be good for the next couple of years. Means they're going to draft back in the draft. They're never going to have the opportunity again to take the second best quarterback in a draft class. So they're looking for someone to be able to step in right for Matthew Stafford when Matthew Stafford retires. That's a pretty good pick.
It looked like McVay did not know that pick was coming.
I actually, Diego, I actually agree with you on the same exact premise. And the other thing we have to remember, the Rams had 2 first-round picks. They traded number 29 for immediate help. They got McDuffie, the corner from the Chiefs, which was their biggest need. And the one thing about the Rams, the last, ever since they started with the whole quote-unquote fuck them picks, the Rams draft in the middle rounds better than just about any team in the National Football League. So if you're sitting there, Matt Stafford, for as good as he is, he's 38 years old, and he was MVP last year. But if you guys remember, coming into the year, he had a lot of back issues coming into the year. And, so if the GM believes in the quarterback, and the other thing is I read that Simpson's style is very much suited to a McVay's offense. He's athletic. He's good at play action. I'm kind of, I know you, Jeff, I know you and Sean didn't like it. I actually did kind of like it, kind of for the same reasons that Diego said, because, if you're a really good team, if you're picking late 20s, early 30s, it's going to be hard to get a young quarterback. And
I didn't know what to think. I really don't know much about Simpson. I don't follow college football enough.
Is rich in quarterbacks.
Next year's draft, that's what I heard. Yeah. Big quarterback draft.
Yeah, but they're going to draft 30. They're going to be in the high picks. You're still not going to get the second best draft quarterback in the class.
All right.
And a lot of times they say, "Oh, this class is going to be stacked." You already know they said there's going to be 6, 7 first-round quarterbacks. It's probably going to be 3, 4.
And you don't know who's going to screw up this year and might not do anything, and then they drop out of that. Yeah, I got you.
Mike Lauro, none of these guys like Eddie Prather doesn't like it. Eddie Prather says McVay didn't like it. I mean, people are saying that, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure.
He was just shocked.
I don't think he would pick somebody without the coach being on the same, the head coach being on the same page. Not McVay anyway. Someone who's like in control of that team.
Yeah.
Mike Lauro says the Rams' first pick were a reach at best. Ty Simpson at 13 was dumb. Hey, listen, we'll see.
We'll find out. I was just curious. Yeah,
we will see what happens.
I'm not saying it's going to pan out the way the way they wanted to. I'm saying, when are the Rams going to have the opportunity to get the second best guy from a draft if Matthew Stafford continues to be good for 1-2 years? They got a guy like Puka. They got younger guys there. They want to be able to transition right into another. You know what I'm saying? Another starting quarterback. If they got to go looking for a quarterback, they got to go looking for a quarterback.
He's going to be around.
You waste 2 years of Puka.
Puka might not be there.
Might not, but the organization's not thinking that way because he could be Antonio Brown one day.
I know he's. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's got the world in his hands right now, and he's fucking it up.
Let's beat Sidney Crosby, Cindy, not Sydney.
Yeah.
Cindy. I still can't get over that flop. That still irks the high hell out of me.
I tell you what, I kind of feel like Hathaway was doing that on purpose.
Bullshit. And that Russ guy, I want his ass kicked. I want somebody to pull his hair right out of his head.
Yeah. Sorry. So let's do. All right. Flyers.
I'll tell you what, though. This is why fucking playoff hockey is so great.
So, Michkov's not playing.
The Russ jumping on Konechny, the net Konechny kicking him in his leg. They're them fucking punching each other in the face all series. Pittsburgh, and if Pittsburgh doesn't engage, then it's not as fun for us.
Well,
it's all awesome.
Gretzky came out and said, watching these playoffs, he's very disappointed in the Penguins because they're playing the old style Flyers game and they're not playing hockey. They're playing.
Tell Wayne Gretzky that they got a bunch of fucking 38-year-old fucking hockey players on their team.
Gretzky doesn't like violence, and he said that the Penguins are trying to play too violent against the Flyers, and the Flyers are skating circles around them, which he's 100% right. That's what
they're going to skate him around anyway. You got Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Carlson, Ross. They're all old.
They're old. Exactly.
All right. So Saturday night's lost. Flyers take the first 3. Saturday night they have a hiccup.
Yep.
Vladar's been playing out of his mind, but he gave up a couple weak ones the other night.
I give him those.
What'd you say?
So I give him those. You know, you're not going to be sitting on your head the whole time, but you know, I give him those. We got back to 3-2, so it wasn't bad. It's Michkov. He's a healthy scratch. He's the guy I worry about because he's not playing defense, and I'm
so mad about that.
You know, they have big hopes for this guy and all this, and I love when they got Zegras on the team because then they can take off a lot of this pressure that was on Michkov because they were playing him off as being like the new Lindros. He's going to be, you know, take over the team. He's great and this and that. Too much pressure. He comes into training camp out of shape. He gets called out a couple times by Tocchet. He's not playing very good hockey. He's got like 1 point in this whole playoff. He's not playing well.
Yeah, but he was playing great coming into the playoffs. I just think it's I just think the head coach is hard headed.
Well,
he wants you to play one way. He doesn't want to adjust his coaching to Michkov. Which, let's be real, where he was drafted, and the potential talent that they were fucking feeding us about him being, you have to unlock that player.
You can't toy with him now in the playoffs, so I can understand them pulling him tonight because they're bringing Bonk in, so they're giving somebody with a little bit more hits, somebody with a little more defense. They want that because they got the offense going. The offense is okay the way it is. They got the line set up. I think from what, you know, reading and even listening to Morgani, he was saying the same thing. They want Michkov to sit back and watch and see what's going on the ice and then put him back in and say, this is what we want you to do. Telling them, and in practice, it's not doing.
And then next game, do it with the other guys that are playing like shit.
If that's what they need to do, yeah. But I don't think it's going to go to that. I think tonight they're going to wrap it up. I really do.
Yeah, you know what, I don't love benching Michkov because I do like the idea of developing him and stuff, but
sure.
but it is the playoffs, and just for tonight, I don't think it's a terrible idea because he has, you know, some of his penalties have been really shitty, and he has been playing really bad in the defensive end. So, you know, I'm okay. Like Diego, to your point, if they were to bench him like the rest of the series, I'd have an issue on it.
I would too.
But just tonight, just to kind of break his balls a little bit and have him refocus.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it tonight. But if they lose, I want him in there in Game 6. And then honestly, maybe you kind of push a button. Maybe he comes out with his hair on fire in Game 6 and he gives you a goal.
It's a good possibility. Yeah, one game. If all games, this is the game. Like you said, this is a perfect game for him to sit out and watch to see what the team's doing from a different angle, not on the ice, but up in the stands, watching it at a different angle. It's a huge difference.
What's the score going to be tonight?
4-2 Flyers.
Diego?
Man, I don't know. I don't like this game. If I have to give you a score, it's going to be 3-2
Close
Flyers.
your eyes and pick a number.
3-2 Flyers. In overtime.
Joe.
In overtime.
All right, Joe.
Oh, man, I'm going to be popping thumbs all night then. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I like you know what? I like 3-1 Flyers. I think they close them out, and then we're talking about Flyers Hurricanes. Rick Tocchet versus Rod Brindamore.
Yeah, that's sick, eh?
3-1 like Joey. Couldn't agree more. And Marty McFlyer scores a goal. Let's go.
Martin, the guy just has a knack. I mean, you can just see it. I love that he does not shy away from shooting the puck. That is huge.
He plays well above his age, and you know, you couldn't ask for anything better. It's a spark for the team, you know, and let's go.
Yeah.
You know who I like tonight as an unsung player? I'm putting it out there. I think Forrester. I think Forrester gets a big goal tonight. He hasn't really done. She's kind of been struggling a little bit. I got a feeling Forrester's gonna rip a wicked wrister.
I'm gonna go with Noah Cates.
I was gonna say that.
Are you?
Yeah. Noah Cates gets a goal tonight.
He's been all over the
Owen
net.
Tippett, baby.
Tippett's been having a great series. And I really didn't know. I mean, I've watched him all year. I didn't know that he was that goddamn fast.
He's good.
He split those guys. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I know
Let's go, baby.
he skates like he stole something. Damn.
Yeah.
Fast as shit. You know what I mean? And you know what? Yeah, I think this is a big. This is actually Forrester. I think offensively, I think this is a big Coots night. I think Couturier this is a big Couturier night. The Flyers' fourth line, particularly because they're on the road. I think this is a big fourth line night. The fourth line really has to come through.
I was down on Coots. I was down on Coots all year. I think he didn't play to his potential, but he's come through in these playoffs.
Yeah, he's playing good. He's playing good.
He's
I
pounding.
want to see Risto lining, baby.
And another one. Since they didn't get rid of him, which thank God they didn't after the World Cup, he's been on fire.
Yeah, Mike Lauro says 4-1. And you know what, guys? I got the TV on. I mean, we're getting close to opening.
Guys, I'm not here next Monday. I'm going to Miami to the F1 race.
Nice. Enjoy, bro.
Yeah, I'm leaving Friday after work, going to the race. Saturday, Sunday, coming back like Monday afternoon. So
hey, bring me back a loose tire or something.
Yeah. Hopefully, it doesn't fucking come to the stands.
How about this? It's even better. A cigar.
Yeah. I have to get. Yeah, there you go.
Then they're damn tired. Jeff wants a tire. I want a cigar.
Yeah, I want a tire in my fucking backpack.
What was that? With Days of Thunder? Put a quarter on there and drive over those quarters. I want one of those quarters in the tire.
Hey, Emil Andre is back tonight too. Noel Juleson is a scratch.
Nice. I like the dude Andre.
He's played okay, but Andre's much better.
Yeah, I agree.
That could be big. So, all right, fellas. Well, look, go Flyers.
Go Flyers.
Go Flyers, baby.
Go Sixers.
Go Sixers.
I'd like to see at least one more basketball game.
See you later, guys.
Steal one in Boston. And
the Flyers. Peace, guys.
See you on the golf course, Sixers.
See y'all
on the golf course.
Getting strong, let's break the mold. Chasing the stories yet unfold. Passion ignites like a blazing fire. Knowledge takes us higher, higher. Out of the box where the wild ones play. We see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. The field's alive with endless dreams. We're more than stats, we're the in-between. A slam dunk.